Hi, this is Dario. Welcome back to my channel, Motley Reads. Today I'm going to talk about the first of my Jane Austen July readings for this year. Participating in Jane Austen July kind of loosely. I'm not following the prompts of the official event, but I'm joining a read along of the two books that are read. First one is that I finished now, Mansfield Park, and the second one that is starting today is Persuasion. So what I'm going to talk about now is Mansfield Park. I'm quite new to Jane Austen. Participated last year. First time ever read anything with Jane Austen. Emma and Pride and Prejudice. I really loved them. Love the books, and I love the event. So I thought I'm gonna join this year as well. And again, it was really an excellent month so far. So here is the book. It is a kind of yeah, well, it's not a beast of a book. It's 500 pages, still quite a large book. In this edition of Penguin English Library, I really like these editions. They are floppy and they are easy to read. They smell good, so it's, you know, anything that you can eat. And also what this edition contains, like some other editions as well, containing essays, this edition is containing an excellent essay on Mansfield Park, written by Tony Tanner. And Tony Tanner was a literary critic and an academic. He was associated with Cambridge University, I think, and you know, he wrote this fantastic essay at the end of the book, and it is at the end of the book because it should be read after you read the book, because you know it is one big spoiler if you read it before. But if you read it afterwards, it's quite good. I can really recommend to read it for all of you that have this edition. So Mansfield Park. So this book was a little bit different from Emma and Pride and Prejudice. But hey, you know, Emma and Pride and Prejudice, they are also different from each other. So it's not very strange that it is the case. So first of all, the plot of the book, it is about the heroine, Fanny Price. She is a poor girl from Portsmouth that is living in a poor family with lots of children, and her mother and father cannot feed them. Also, they decide to ask Fanny's mother, who is married to a rich guy, Sir Thomas Bertram, a rich landowner, if they could take on and raise Fanny. So Fanny moves from Portsmouth to countryside, to a estate of Mansfield Park, there to live with her aunt and uncle. And there is another aunt living on that estate, Mrs. Norris, who is living in a parsonage at the estate. She's growing up there, Fanny Price, together with his family and you know, with her aunt and uncle, or aunts and uncle, and the cousins. Pretty much ignored by everybody in different ways, you know, by Sir Thomas and his wife. Just, you know, it just happens. There is no meanness behind that. The cousins, kids, are really, you know, mean like kids are, except of one of the brothers in the family, Edmund, who likes Fanny very much. And also, I wouldn't say that she was ignored, but she was really, you know, tortured by her second aunt, Mrs. Norris. So she was leading a quite, you know, uneventful and life there at that estate, growing up until she became, I think she was 18 years old when Crawfords appear. And Crawfords, it's a couple. It's a brother and sister from London that come to the parsonage at the Mansfield Park estate, they bring with them modern, so to say, a way of living, a way of seeing things, and they're bringing a change, the change that will really change the family forever. And now, you know, I don't want to go into more details about that. I don't want to spoil the book for those of you, the few, very, very few of you who might not have read the book. So the writing in the book, it's very Jane Austen-esque, so to say. Now, you know, this is my third Jane Austen book, so I consider myself a kind of, you know, expert of Jane Austen. So it's typical Jane Austen writing. Here, it is the book is pretty long, but the scenes are changed. Scenery is changing. You know, she's moving from one place to another. You know, we have both, you know, Mansfield Park. We have episodes in Portsmouth. We have London. We have different events happening there. The scenography is very, very rich, and you can really you know, feel being there. You get completely absorbed into the world she's creating there. So you know, despite the length of the book, it feels, you know, very, very fluid and very, very forward moving. She has this kind of, you know, as I described previously, kind of, you know, braid style of writing. So it's not, you know, when she's moving things, you know, from one place to another, even things that are happening at the same time, you don't have, you know, this, you know, stop and go feeling that you have in many books that are written by a less skilled author. But it's like, you know, she's weaving a braid, so everything is, you know, very, very fluid and moving forward at the same time. The sentences are really, really full with content. You know, she's writing very, very playfully, and there is a lots of, you know, social commentary, and, you know, in a kind of, you know, style where she's, you know, witfully criticizing the state of being at that point in history. She's also utilizing quite a lot of letters. She's been utilizing letters in Emma, well, I think it was one letter in Emma and a couple of letters in Pride and Prejudice. Here there are more letters that are used to kind of, you know, move the story forward. She's doing that very, very skillfully. So the whole, you know, style of writing, it is very rich with the different vehicles that she's using, and thus is very, very enjoyable. So style of writing is really, really fantastic, and the plot in itself is pretty interesting. Now, moving to the characters of the story, you know, there are several different types of characters, and the lead character, Fanny Price, and her cousin Edmund. These are the first lead characters in Jane Austen novels that I really dislike. I don't like Fanny Price at all. I don't like Edmund. I think that they are, you know, I can see, you know, what she was trying to do, and she, you know, she probably did a good job in creating characters that should be standing, you know, for conservative values and a strength of character, but they are extremely boring. You know, if I would be, you know, in a room with either Fanny or Edmund, or God forbid both of them, you know, I would jump through the window of boredom, because, you know, both of them, they are extremely dull people. They come across as very, very dull people. Then you have these Henry and Mary Crawford, the brother and sister from London that are coming, who are kind of a negative characters in the story, you know, bringing on this change, you know, this kind of, you know, this decadent, you know, big city modern style that is clashing with all this, you know, tranquility of a country life. And it might be so that we are, you know, so much immersed into that kind of living, into urban kind of living, that these types of characters are speaking more to us, or at least to me. So, you know, I kind of, you know, even if they are negative characters, both Henry and Mary, I kind of like Henry and Mary because, you know, they are much more human in my opinion. In you know, Fanny's, you know, you would kind of characterize her as, you know, as a ultra politically correct person, you know, being, you know, always right in everything and having all the right opinions and so on, you know, being kind of, you know, I wouldn't call it superhuman, but inhuman, while, you know, Mary and Henry, the negative characters, being, you know, more understandable. Maybe that was what she wanted to achieve, Jane Austen, but or it just, you know, the other way of reading the novel now in these modern times. Who knows? Then we have Mrs. Norris, the evil aunt, and you know she's really cruel. She's really cruel and extremely offensive character. And I really, you know, don't know where you know, Jane Austen finds all these characters. Is this kind of, you know, exaggeration of certain personal traits of certain people, or people like Mrs. Norris, did they really exist? She has, you know, this lady Catherine de Bourgh, for instance, in Pride and Prejudice, also, you know, kind of, you know, this evil character that you think, you know, are you for real? Perhaps, you know, there are people like that, or there were people like that in abundance. So she had to kind of put them in there to have them, to represent them in the books. And Mrs. Norris was really, you know, shocking character, but it was fun being shocked by reading about, you know, all the things that came out from her mouth. And then you have all these other people, you know, like, you know, Sir Thomas Bertram and Lady Bertram and their children, Maria and Julia and Tom and Fanny Price's family in Portsmouth and so on, and some other people around it, you know, Mr. Rushworth and Mr. Yates, I think, is another guy. There are lots of people around, and they are like kind of, you know, kind of auxiliary characters in the story. You see them mostly as a kind of bunch of airheads running around and being insignificant, although they are, you know, basically there in the story and kind of, you know, giving this, you know, rich kind of personality gallery in the story. So it's lots of different people, but, you know, to me, four, you know, key people: Fanny Price and Edmund, the two that I don't like, and Crawford, brother and sister, the two that I like. Maybe the meaning was that it should be the opposite. Who knows? But yeah, that's how I feel about them. The whole story, the whole book, is set into, again, you know, we need to think about, okay, what is the context of this story? And the context is basically, you know, early 19th century England. And in early 19th century England, everything in the writing of Jane Austen, and perhaps some writing of other people at that time, is very much about the social social commentary. Really, it is about the social structure, about how do you the conditions of life in different social classes, because they are so different, they were so much different. It's not like a society today where we have, you know, these, okay, we do have, you know, these extremely poor people, extremely rich people in Western society, but then, you know, we have this chunk of middle class where everybody leads the same life. You know, some people with their own money, some people with borrowed money, but still, you know, everybody, you know, more or less is the same. But there, you know, the stratification was you know, very much more profound, as you can read from it. So it is, you know, very much of her writing in the books, and this is the third book in a row, is about the climbing through the social structure and using marriage as a vehicle. So marriage is really just it's a business arrangement, and all these different games about who is marrying whom, how much money who has, how do you position yourself, and all that. It is really permeating the whole book and the previous two books as well. What I'm reading as a kind of a new thing in this book compared with the previous two books is this tension that also Tony Tanner is commenting on, the tension that you see between the country life and perhaps it's because of the Fanny Price's conservative character, but country life being very tranquil, very conservative, and then you have this your feeling of the modern London and modern times coming in and really disturbing the order there, and at the same time you have another urban arena which is also negative, the one of Portsmouth with all its poverty and so on. So both these negative urban forces, one of this modern wealthy London and this modern poor and dirty Portsmouth that are kind of attacking the order, the nice order of things on the countryside that you have at the Mansfield Park estate and the personage and the village around. So this is quite interesting to think about. So all in all, Mansfield Park, very enjoyable read. I I must say, if I would rank it against Emma and Pride and Prejudice, I don't see it as a stronger novel than any of these two. But that doesn't make it bad novel, because it is. I really don't think that Jane Austen was capable of writing anything bad, really. So it was really excellent novel, Mansfield Park. And when I finished Mansfield Park, what I did also, I wanted to see the movie, and I saw this movie many years ago, but then now I rewatched it. This one, I think this is from 1998 ish, 1999, production of Miramax, with who are these actors? And I need to change my glasses. Some actors I don't recognize, really. The movie, I know that some of you like the movie. To me, this movie was just, it was very bad movie. For several reasons. First of all, and of course, you should allow a certain kind of, artistic freedom. The movie doesn't need to kind of, copy the book. It doesn't need to be like a book. But there are lots of things that are, in the movie that are not in a book. And then also important things from the book that are not in the movie. So the stories do not kind of, fit. Okay, they don't need to do that. You need to see the movie as a one coherent whole. Another thing that was annoying, again, artistic freedom, but it is a kind of a blend of, Fanny Price is a Fanny Price from the book. At the same time, she's a kind of young Jane Austen, because there are lots of kind of biographical Jane Austen material in what she's writing. For instance, A History of England. One of the juvenilia from Jane Austen's life, for instance, among other things here. So these things that were kind of annoying me, but okay, I need to allow artistic freedom. But then the characters here also again completely different types of characters. So the story, the plot is the same, but the messaging and the feeling is completely different here. And if I look at it as a standalone without reading the book, I really don't see it as very well executed. I don't like the actors, the way they are acting. I don't like the scenery. The house was really uninspiring. Mansfield Park as a house, as gentry estate should be something grand and enjoyable. This was anything but that. And its story in itself didn't make lots of sense. definitely much less sense than the book in itself. If you look at it in isolation, I really didn't enjoy the movie, and I cannot recommend the movie. But again, you know, it is perhaps just me. But the book is a really good one, and you know, if you haven't read it, you know, pick it up. Don't be intimidated by the size. It's really fluid and easy read. So this is Mansfield Park, and now on to Persuasion. So until next time, take care. Bye.